I haven't had a whiskey drink in a while.
I have a whiskey drink. I have a cider drink.
What are you talking about?
I get knocked down, but I get up again. Also, I've been recording, so I hope everyone appreciates the fact that the Chumbawamba reference is in my recording.
I've never heard that.
Welcome for an episode that Zach is
It's time.
so hyped for. We talked about it last week. We're doing it this week. This week we're watching American Pie, a 1999 teen comedy film. In this episode, you have Zach, Ben, Cameron, myself, Dylan. I always say myself, and sometimes I don't think I say Dylan, so... So to kick things off and get everybody in the right mood, this week we're drinking the Pall Mall. It is a pre-prohibition cocktail, and it relies heavily on Applejack. I think last month was Applejack month. Applejack is a apple brandy. It's the oldest liqueur distilled in America, apparently. The recipe for this one is 1 ounce of Applejack, 1 ounce of rye whiskey, 75 ounces of lemon,
75 ounces.
75 ounces.
So
3/4 of an ounce.
So you're gonna put a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of the Applejack.
It's gonna be very tart.
And a lot of lemon juice.
It's like a
Just grab a jug of
basically
lemon
lemonade,
juice and toss a
but,
sprinkle of the liquors in there.
Got some country time lemonade? Just take the whole container.
It's a great
Pour in
poolside
a little
drink.
bit of that liquor, and just stir till it comes clean.
Only like an ounce though. You don't want to get too drunk.
Yeah.
How heavy is 75 ounces?
How heavy is it? Like in weight?
Yes.
Well, it depends on your
Yes.
on what you
16 ounces is a pound.
75. Well, I guess I would be doing fluid ounces.
Yeah, and
take into
fluid
account
ounces,
density.
you obviously need to
It would-
know
Depends,
the
but
density
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
75 dry ounces is 4.6 pounds. So,
How would you measure the pale ale?
but well,
Is
I
it more of a
wouldn't.
dry ounce or a not dry ounce?
I've heard it's pretty salty, so I would not try it. So let me correct this here. 3/4 of an ounce of lemon, 3/4 of an ounce of grenadine, 2 orange slices to muddle in there, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and you don't really need a garnish. I made one. Some ASMR for you guys.
I also made one.
I thought this is my first time having Applejack, and I thought it would be a little bit more apple forward. You do get it a bit, but it's kind of like, it's almost like drinking apple cider, and you get that little like taste in the back of your mouth, like that little aftertaste. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, I didn't get the actual Applejack brand. I just got a whatever apple brandy. But this drink, and I had my wife try one too. She said it reminds her a lot of like a Washington apple, like the shots. And I'd agree. I just think anything that has that kind of apple flavor up front kind of gives you that. But I really like this drink. I would definitely drink this again. It's good. I recommend it. It's another, bourbon or whatever whiskey type drink, but it's not really at the forefront. I don't think you notice it as much with everything else in there.
It's it's pretty folly too.
Yeah.
I would say, but maybe that's the apple just like tricking me into being like, hey, harvest.
I think that could be the case, but at the same time, like, I think this could be very much like a year round. I think you could probably make this cocktail any time of year and enjoy it.
Zach, Cameron, did you guys make one? Nah.
No, I couldn't find the ingredients, unfortunately. I don't know. My liquor store nearby was entirely gone.
Kroger?
Yep. The Kroger near my house.
My local liquor store.
My local liquor
don't you know?
store.
Well, that's my liquor store. There's literally no other liquor store nearby except for if I go like 10 minutes away, which isn't a long amount of time, but it's farther than I want to drive.
It's
The
more
Kroger's-
than I'm
okay.
It's more than I'm willing to go for my podcast.
Okay.
I'm not. Whoa.
But you have to understand that
whoa.
Kroger is literally 3
Whoa.
minutes from my house, and I refuse to drive any further than that.
I'll commit to an hour and a
We are
half
in a
recording
pandemic.
so we can cut
2020 has really changed Cam.
That has never changed.
down. I'll commit the hour and 40 minutes to record so we can cut it down to just the 40 minutes of what people will hear. But 10 minutes there, 5 minutes to find something, and 10 minutes back for liquor. How dare you? How dare you suggest that to me?
I was
Who
busy,
the hell do you
and
think
then
you are?
I just didn't have enough time to go find it elsewhere because I had to watch the movie and then get on to record. But
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because of the election.
There was four days of election day. 5 days of
No. By now, guys, by the time this episode comes out, you will know who the next president of the United States is.
or maybe not.
Maybe.
No, what I was going to say is
Nevada
is
still
that
needs to count the last 10% of the votes.
1, 2.
That's good for today, boys. Pack it up. Head home.
What I was going to say though is that the liquor section at my local Kroger, it was just completely ransacked and like half of everything was gone. So can only imagine why that's the case right now. But
American Pie is a 1999 film directed by Paul Weitz and Chris Weitz.
Paul Blart.
Who is, yes, beep, mean creep. What is it?
you got it. Peep, beep, mean creep.
I guess Chris...
Paul Blart, flesh
Chris
malt.
Weitz or Chris Weitz. I people got these names, and names are really hard to pronounce.
Are they?
And I feel bad when I shit on people. Like I disrespect them with like these terrible pronunciations. It's Weitz.
Fights.
I would think that would be Weitz,
I think
but
it's Whites.
Chris Weitz is apparently uncredited. It was written by Adam Hers, stars Jason Biggs, Chris Klein from Election. Hey, you guys remember
welcome
him?
back.
Thomas Ian Nichols, Shannon Elizabeth, Jennifer Coolidge, Allison Hannigan from How I Met Your Mother, Eugene Levy from Schitt's
Sharknado,
Creek,
great
Natasha
Tara Reid.
Lyonne,
They're all from this movie though, guys. Like you just
Yeah.
named
Sean William Scott.
you just named everybody from some other show. This is where they all came from.
Yeah, that's
Well, okay. Let's give Eugene Levy some credit. I think he might have done some stuff before this.
He's Jim's dad.
But he will forever in my heart be Jim's dad.
I don't know. I actually
Was-
thought I
no,
liked him in Schitt's Creek.
Allison was in. I was gonna say
Allison
Allison
was
in
also
the
in
Vampire
Buffy
Slayer.
before this, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like
Chris
Billy
Klein
Alive.
technically was in Election before this movie.
Hey,
That's his most
Come on,
popular.
guys.
Is like on if you look at his Wikipedia or IMDb, that's his like first credit that's listed. Not like first ever, but like
Election
that's his
or
most
this?
famous role is for that guy for the jock in Election.
Wow.
I don't think that's the case.
I'm not saying it's
I
true.
feel
I'm
like it
just
would be
saying that
American Pie,
when it
yeah.
lists, I think on his Wikipedia page when it says he's known for, the first thing is the Election
Yeah.
movie. But that could just be chronological.
American Pie is the story of 4 teenage boys who enter a pact to lose their virginity before prom, causing a whole shit ton of shenanigans. It currently sits at a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. Thankfully, was not nominated for any Oscars or Golden Globes or
Highly looked over.
anything. It is not on any IMDb list, but I'm sure it's on some of our lists here. Let's just hop right in. Cam, this was your first time. I swear I've seen the movie. I know all of the beats of the film, but like watching it back, I was kind of like, have I seen this? But I know everything that happens. So I feel like I've seen it before. I know I've seen the later ones. But Cam, what was your first impression of American Pie?
All right. So when I first was thinking, like when you guys brought up watching this movie, I was like, this is going to be another dumb, teen comedy. And it definitely was a dumb teen comedy, but
Yes, but actually.
But I did actually enjoy
Actually.
watching it. Like I did genuinely think it was funny, and there were actually a fair amount of parts that I mean, it's a bit cliche now because I think that this movie kind of redefined the teen movie genre for like the next generation. Because you had teen movies kind of back in the 80s with like the Breakfast Club and stuff. I think would count.
Yeah, I think you have the John Hughes 80s, and then this kind of like gets you into your Superbad, Sex Drive.
This is like, I mean, like honestly, like even though I'm not saying this is like a groundbreaking movie, but it is kind of like a cultural reset of like these types of movies. Like a lot of movies were very similar to this, basically revolving around themes of like, I don't know, a lot of them were like drinking or getting laid. Like those are the two themes of teen movies, basically.
What came out like beginning of the 90s to like this?
Mallrats.
Like I guess like the slacker.
But
comedy
Mallrats also, I mean, so Mallrats would have come out. I mean, I don't know, Clerks. I guess I don't consider the guys in Clerks to be teens. I think of them as.
It's not really a
like
teen comedy.
But like, I guess Mallrats would be, but I also think Mallrats is so much of a cult classic, and it did not do well, like right off the bat, that most people would not consider it like a teen. And even then, they're kind of not necessarily teens.
You have Dazed and Confused came out, which is, I mean, it's definitely not like this. It's more like slice of life.
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You, Election, Clueless.
Okay.
Also, when you mentioned the cast, did you mention Natasha Lyonne was in this one?
I was going to, and I think somebody interrupted me.
No, he also missed Jonathan Cho.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I mean, he's like MILF guy number one, but like...
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, Natasha plays a more prominent role than he does.
Yes.
But yeah, there are just so many actors from this movie that some of them went on to do other things. Some of them went on to do not so great things.
The most important cast members, the band Blink 182.
Yeah, you're really sleeping on Blink.
Wait,
there,
are
bud.
they in? Are they?
Oh, they're
the
in.
movie?
Yeah, they're
really?
in.
They're the garage.
What?
They're the garage band guys watching
When Nadia is being
What?
broadcasted
Watching
online.
Nadia being broadcasted.
Okay,
yeah,
hold
that's
on.
Blink.
Interesting.
I have to
I didn't
pause
know
Tom
that.
DeLonge is the one
Yeah.
that goes, "Go Trig boy."
Okay, but they're not the like main guy though, right?
No.
What?
No, I think it's
Not the
the
main- what do you mean
three
the
of
main
them. The three of them
Like
are
there's
the
one
other
dude
guys.
that's like
yeah, the one
yeah,
guy
there's
that
like
says
one guy
he's
that's
in my
like
trig
talking
class.
a lot in the.
I don't think
Okay.
he's one of the band members, but the other three is Blink.
That's weird.
All right, here we go. Hold on. Jimstrips.3gp.
Yes.
What the fuck is a 3pg or 3gp
That
file?
was an old cell phone video format.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, there's like Stifler's brother dancing.
Wait, what are you guys looking at?
Is this like some Moby when he's stripping here?
No idea. That would be very on brand for 99, though.
All right, I'm trying to find the band here. Oh wait, here they are. Okay, this is super. Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's
oh
Blink.
my god.
That's funny.
Okay,
Yeah, no, it's them.
that's funny. Holy shit.
That's interesting. Yeah, so, I mean, the only thing, I guess,
This
that...
is the lowest
What?
res. This is the lowest res image I could find. But...
Oh, no.
Wow, Travis with the fucking purple hair.
Yeah, so, speaking of
that's
that
not
scene...
Travis.
No,
Oh,
that's the other guy.
That
that's
is Travis. Sorry,
It looks. I was gonna say it looks like
Yeah,
that is.
I was gonna say it's not Scott or whatever the fucking
No.
dude's name before him was. I don't know my Blink-182 lore. Zach, fill in here.
Scott Rayner was the drummer before Travis Barker. That part is on point. You got it.
Okay, I do know my Blink-182
You do,
lore.
yep.
Never mind.
Better than you think.
I did go to a concert once, so that certifies me basically.
Certified freak.
You were saying, Cam?
Are you done? I'll wait.
This movie brings out the teenager in me.
Brings out the teenager in all of us.
Cameron, now, do you know what a clitoris is?
I will say.
I don't...
I will say Eugene Levy is the perfect fucking dad.
Oh my god, he's so
Yeah.
great.
So awkward.
Can we rank
It's so
top
funny.
dads of all time? Can we do a top
God.
10 dads in movies and put like Robert De Niro in A Bronx Tale at 2 and Eugene Levy as Jim's dad at 1?
And the dad from Independence Day is gotta be in,
Oh my
in
God.
the top 5. You punched the president?
Michael Corleone or Don Corleone, I guess.
Oh, Jim's dad is higher. Mr. Livingston's higher.
Oh,
He's God tier.
Man.
He's S tier dad.
he's just so like he understands what is happening, but he's just so wholesome about it too.
Yeah.
You know,
Like when he walks in,
back in my day, I used to, masturbate. When I was a little younger, I used to call it stroking the salami, pounding the old pud.
And he's like, oh, your uncle used to do it like 5 to 6 times a
Your
day.
Uncle Mort pets the one-eyed snake 5 to 6 times a day.
I never did it with baked goods, but
God.
we'll just
He
tell
was
your
so-
mother we ate it all.
So unbelievably understanding, even though he had no reason to be. Like,
Oh, when he was going over the porn mags, he brought Jim all the porn magazines, and he's like, "Now this one, you can see they focus more on the breasts, which, as you know, are primarily used for producing milk."
I like when he then
flip
opens
over to
up.
the center here, and
Yeah, flip to the center on this one. This one's a bit more exotic. You can see they're emphasizing more of the pubic region, and she's looking at you. She's staring at you in the eyes, and she's like, "Hey, big boy, I see you there."
I love that when he goes to open the nightstand and throw them in, and he finds all the condoms, and he's like, "Well, it's
The one that's
better than a
open?
tube. It's safer than a tube sock."
yeah. I
Which is a
do.
throwback because at the beginning he was masturbating into a tube sock.
Right.
This movie's deep.
I feel very conflicted
meta.
about like this movie in general on like the topics, like the themes of this movie. Like, I don't know. So I will say the only like totally objectionable part to me,
the Nadia scene.
obviously,
Yeah.
where they are
sure,
literally
I saw
filming her without her like that is like, I don't know. I just like cringe throughout the entire thing because it is just so wrong and like it like that part.
Because Jim was embarrassing himself, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was the only funny part about that scene because he knew the camera was there. The rest of it, I don't know. I just didn't think it was funny because it was like gross. But I mean, I don't know. The rest of it, like it's like obviously like, I don't know. Wikipedia says it's literally a sex comedy, which I guess it is. I think it's a little, like it's not. I mean, like maybe in 30 years you'll look at this movie again and be like, this is really really bad. But this definitely wasn't on the level of like Animal House for me, where it was like, so far, not good that it was just like, I don't know, like kind of funny, but also kind of hard to watch. Like most of the movie was like fine to watch. And I didn't, they almost make fun of them for wanting sex so bad in this movie. That's the topic, but they kind of like look like douches when they're trying to do that. And
And then they even that's the big fight when they're at prom.
Right.
It's like, dude,
It's not a
all
big
you
deal.
talk about is having sex.
And
Like,
I don't think having sex is the plot. I think it's like almost more so like the MacGuffin of the movie.
It's like the catalyst.
it's like plot.
yeah.
It's plot point one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think on the
Yeah.
surface, it kind of seems like that's like the plot, so to speak. But like, it definitely does take different avenues. And like I said, I think it almost like kind of makes fun of like the obsession with like sex with teens and stuff. It definitely makes it seem by the end of the movie that that's not like all that matters because like,
Even though they all end up having sex.
they don't all end up having sex, right?
Not Oz.
No, Oz doesn't.
Oz doesn't.
Not Oz and Heather, no. Chris Klein playing the sensitive jock yet again.
He was yet again. He was my favorite character in this movie.
The
2 for
wholesome-
2.
Yeah.
2 for 2. He totally changed. Like he flips the script on it. He at first he asks a woman to suck me beautiful, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
suck me beautiful. Clearly a
Call me
Stifler line.
Casanova.
Clearly
And he
Stifler
totally
told him to
like,
say that.
He goes into the choir thing trying to like, pretend to be more sensitive, but actually comes out more sensitive and like a well-rounded person. So like that.
Yeah, like the scene when he's walking with Heather and he's like, hey, just so you know, like, we did have this sex pact She's like, this isn't how you like
Yeah.
get my pants. And he's like, no, but like I wanted to tell you that like I actually have feelings for you and both.
Right. He is again
God, what
2 for 2.
he says
favorite
something
character.
else though.
Oh,
He says something like
it was
in that line, too.
we were supposed to lose it on prom night. And she's like, "Yeah, you're not helping your case."
Oh yeah, that's
I do think Cameron brought up an interesting point about Animal House. American Pie is the millennial Animal House. There's some stuff in the movie that hasn't aged well already. The Nadia scene. Also, some of the language, especially from Stifler.
Yep.
Homophobic slurs and
Yep.
whatnot.
yeah.
It's one of those movies that I think we're at the point where it can give you some feel-goods watching it because it just perfectly encapsulates the early 2000s. And I guess a little bit of the late
Oh
90s.
yeah, like this was like
But
this was like growing up as a male in the early 2000s. It was like, bro, have you seen American Pie yet? Because like you should.
But I don't know if Gen Z will take to this movie very well. I think that might be the generational gap.
I mean, when did you guys see this movie? Like, it came out in 99. We would have been
Yeah.
like, you know.
I might have been like 10
middle
or
school
12.
or high school.
I was gonna say probably around middle school.
Okay.
So probably like the mid to late 2000s. But I mean, it was still like.
I think it was like people who had older brothers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like sisters and stuff. It was like
I
it
didn't
was
know
like
that.
those kids saw it, and then it was like, dude, you gotta see this. Like
It was like those kids saw it but didn't understand it, but they kept hearing like your siblings reference it, so you had to watch it.
Yep. Definitely
You
watch
didn't
this
get
with
it,
older cousins.
and then a couple years later, you watch it again, and you're like, "Oh my god, this movie is fantastic."
I did think it was funny / clever that the one character strategy was just to literally like invent rumors about himself.
Oh, Finch?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Finch,
like no matter what
dude.
you hear, just agree with it.
And everybody goes along with it like true G's.
Yeah, that's what your bros do, you know.
Well, Kevin at first almost just completely ruined
Yeah, he
it.
almost nerfed it
Oh,
from
yeah.
day one.
What do you mean? He wears a bathing suit in the showers. I mean, no, it's huge.
No, he's enormous. He's massive.
He's packing.
Oh, this movie gave us so many classic tropes.
Yeah.
A Stifler, like, people after
Oh.
this movie became, well, they were always Stiflers, but now they had a label. Stifler's mom became a label.
Also, the like geeky band person
Yeah,
that's
the band
also
kids.
a freak. Like
Yep.
that is
Well, even like, yeah,
I have
that's
I have a
giant-
sex story.
about
One
kissing.
time at band camp, I kissed a boy,
And then she talks about
and
the flute.
and then I stuck a flute up my pussy.
Like,
What?
Whoa.
I have a list
Are
of
we
my
gonna
favorite
Are we gonna do
quotes.
it?
Are we gonna have sex? Because
Oh,
I'm
she
tired.
used me. she used me. I was used.
Such a
Just so
interesting
excited.
realization.
I was used. Yes, cool.
It's so interesting because if the gender roles were flipped in that scenario, it would be totally different scene. But
Oh, absolutely.
But I think
Yeah,
that's
that would be the
I
beginning
think
of it.
that's
Brought-
like one of those.
I brought 2 condoms. I don't want you.
I don't want you to be too
early.
sensitive. Yeah, I don't want you
Oh,
to get
yeah.
desensitized.
and she's
Oh,
like,
Allison
wait.
Hannigan,
He's like,
man.
wait. You saw that? And she's like,
What a
yeah. Why
gem.
do you think I said yes?
Yes, it was an easy. It was an easy score.
When you find out that Michelle knows about his, like, because that's what draws Jim to Michelle, is he thinks she doesn't know
She
about the
doesn't know.
broadcast.
It's the one girl in school that doesn't know about it.
God, I know we talked about Blink-182,
Can we do it a little more?
but the soundtrack in this
Oh,
movie
it's gold.
was like
Is
was like the
fucking
soundtrack
bangs.
to my middle school
Jesus.
years.
This is the soundtrack to my everyday.
This soundtrack is. Like I said, I feel like within like 5 minutes of starting this movie, I felt like it was like the year 2000.
Yep.
There was no war in the Middle East. There
Or it was just
no-
starting. Or it was, I mean, part 2 was coming up. Part 2 was coming up.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
But you know,
into
Oh, man.
the Bush administration.
the Obama years were still ahead of us. It was a good time.
Yeah, you have Whole, Everclear, Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger. You've got some Sugar Ray in there.
Third Eye Blind.
Yep.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh my God, what a great, just straight call out, but still fantastic.
Bare Naked Ladies, Fatboy Slim.
Even Goldfinger. Goldfinger's in there, too.
Oh yeah, Goldfinger.
Not for their 99 Red Balloons cover, but
Some classic ska music. Throw that in there.
That's how you know it's the 90s.
Yeah.
Is they're playing like Mighty Mighty Boss Stones or some Goldfinger.
Oh, guys, that's the other actor I think we forgot to mention too. I'm looking through. I realized we forgot to mention the uncredited Casey Affleck
Oh yeah, as Kev's brother.
as Kev's brother.
Yeah, when he showed up, I was just like, "What?" Casey
I
Affleck.
forgot. I knew they had someone play his brother, but I completely forgot it was Casey Affleck until he showed up on screen.
The whole Bible
Yeah, the sex Bible.
scene is like super, super weird. Yeah, go into the library and under the like third shelf.
Okay, I thought that part was kind of funny, espally when he's
There
like
was an approval process.
when he's going down on her and then like pulls the book out
like,
from
"Wait,
under
hold
the
on."
bed and then puts it back.
No, her dad though is the
Oh, and
best. Her dad
Yeah.
walks up
Dad-
to
I'm
the door.
coming.
and she's
I'm
like,
coming.
and he
Okay.
just turns
Okay.
right
Yeah,
away.
I
Like,
thought
all
they were
right.
about to get walked in on.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He teases
Oh
it while
my
Kevin's like, you know, your parents don't have a lock on your door. Oh no, here it comes! Here it comes!
That scene, and then like when Jim's parents walk in on him at the beginning when he's watching the like illegal channels.
Yeah.
It's like the shitty
He can't get the remote
He
Reception.
almost got away with it.
Oh, that's a boob.
He's like,
that's a boob.
Yeah. He's like, there's a tit.
And his dad even tried to cover for him too in the first.
No, it's a
Dilly-
nature program.
Mr. Living.
Until he hears "spank my hairy ass," and his head just goes, "Excuse me."
Spank my hairy ass.
It was the 90s, you know?
Oh, barely, but yeah. My God, this movie.
And then like the next line is like Jim to Chris is like, "Hey, did you see the little mermaid? She's so hot."
Yes.
What?
She's a mermaid. Not when she's
Not
out of
when
water.
she's on land.
Oh my God, guys. Can I hit you with a quote? The one that just
Yeah.
cracks me up, always and forever, no matter how corny it is. I am the Shermanator, a sophisticated sex robot sent back through time to change the future for one lucky lady. And then Nadia. Am I a lucky lady? Nadia, you've been targeted for Shermanation. Come with me
God.
if you want to live. What a fucking guy.
Especially when he convinces everybody that he has sex with her, or
Yeah.
not Nadia,
Yes,
but
and
that
then
one
that girl
woman, and then
is-
she's like, "Oh,
and
we
he
just
just
stayed
had
up
a
all night
heart-to-heart.
talking."
Oh, that's what you call it?
Yeah.
And then she like goes up on stage and just like
Also, he wets
shits on his
himself.
life and pisses his
Yeah.
pants.
I just like the first time you're introduced to Sherman when he's walking through, when Stifler's walking through, and he goes, "Sherman." Sherman's like, "Hey," and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Oh, Stifler's got some lines in this one. The thing that I really enjoy about the American Pie series is that Stifler is kind of like an unhinged douchebag throughout the whole thing,
Yeah.
but he always gets his just desserts. He always gets his...
Yeah.
Somebody's always getting back at Stifler, almost
He
coincidentally.
drinks a semen beer.
Yeah, the pale ale scene. I think it's
I
American
feel like
Pie
his major
2, he gets
comeuppance
peed
comes
on.
at the very end of the movie.
Or Finch. Yeah, Finch gives him comeuppance.
Finch gets
Finch
after
gives
him in a way nobody else should ever.
Finch gives him and his mom comeuppance in most every movie.
On a pool table. Pool tables are expensive to refill. She
Well,
didn't care. She didn't care.
I mean,
she got the
that house in the divorce or whatever, so she probably has enough where she can replace it.
God, the line between him and Stifler's mom, where she's like, he's like, "Oh, you got any hard liquors?" She's like, "I got some scotch, single malt, aged 18 years."
Just
the
how
way
I like it. Ew. Ew. Ew.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure I
Stifler's
said ew
mom.
when she said that. I was like, oh, gross.
It's like oh God, it kind of reminds me of like Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused, like his character there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Neat little role reversal of the I get older, but they stay the
Creepy
same
older
age.
person.
It's weird
Yeah.
because I thought it was like, maybe not. Well, I don't know. I thought it was bad in this movie too, which I feel like at the time, it would have been weird if a male said that, but a female didn't say. I don't know. Like there's like that trope or stereotype where if it's a male preying on younger dude or younger women, then it's gross. But if it's a female,
Are you talking about Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, it's called
no,
praying.
no.
I will say one of the other things that I think when we talked about things that probably not cool, the fact that Stifler constantly makes fun of Oz's dad for being the manager at like a restaurant or something.
I don't
Kinda
remember
like,
that.
It looks like a. Oh yeah, he says something about. Well, the first thing at one point he says something about don't expect Oz to pay for the limo.
Oh yeah.
He makes that joke, and then I think he says something else about it too, about the fact that like Oz isn't basically that like Oz works for his dad's like store and he's just the manager of a restaurant because Stifler has a shit ton of money.
I love the when the girl is like, I did not have sex with him. Chuck Sherman is a liar, and I've never had sex with him. Though he did try to fuck a grapefruit and pees his pants when he gets nervous.
It's the beginning of the grapefruit line.
Yes. I was there for the grapefruit line because of the grapefruit technique. The infamous video that everyone should see.
Yep.
I'll link and comment down below. So
I don't think you should.
Just make this the Instagram ad and put up a picture of the woman with the grapefruit when we're talking about the grapefruit. And that
It's really like Pac-Man.
a little more ASR, yeah. Put Pac-Man over her face. Waka 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 waka.
So this week's podcast is brought to you by Surfside Sips. They make high-impact glass straws. They're a family-owned company. And what's better than saving the turds, you know?
The turds.
The turds.
You know, I'm one of those people who hates using paper straws. Paper straws fucking
Paper straws suck.
I
They're
love
the worst
what
solution.
they do. I love that we're minimizing the use of plastic straws. I enjoy that. Paper straws suck ass.
They suck. They're the worst possible solution because turns out, guess what? Paper and water don't fucking mix, okay? I don't know who came up with it, but it doesn't work. Even though they put coating on it to try and help, it doesn't work. It just gets soggy and you end up throwing it away anyway, and that's just more waste. And so,
But you know what doesn't get soggy? Glass.
yeah.
Glass straws from Surfside Sips. And if you want to get some glass straws from Surfside Sips, you can use coupon code cocktails and classics spelled out. That's cocktails AND classics for 20% off your order.
And if you're looking for a business to support during this time, seems like a good idea. Today's episode is brought to you by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. But essentially what it is every month you get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from their monthly selection. So, Dylan and Zach, what are your experiences with Audible?
So, working from home nowadays, I recently used Audible to rip through one of my favorite book series. It's always great to go back and revisit some of your favorites.
And since we've recently done From Russia with Love, you could check out some of Ian Fleming's books on Audible. They have Dan Stevens, Toby Stevens, Damian Lewis, many great narrators read through Diamonds Are Forever, From Russia with Love, Live and Let Die. So maybe you want to get into the James Bond novels as well as the movies.
To start your free 30-day trial, go to audibletrial.com/cocktails and classics, all lowercase. Again, that's audible.com/cocktails, AND classics. After your free trial is up, it costs $14.95 per month. However, there are no commitments, and if you can't decide what to listen to, that's okay. You can roll your credits over up to 1 year.
A little bit of a tradition around here is Zach will always take over. He puts us through his trivia quiz, and I'm sure we're going to get some spicy ones here for American Pie, one of Zach's favorites. What do you got for us?
All right, you boys, you know what's been coming. There's a question that needs to be answered.
Jason Biggs, or?
That is not the answer. But
Oh, okay.
when we did this movie, we were like, oh, we're going to do American Pie. You guys knew this question was going to be on there. So you had plenty of time to study. So question number 1. What Blink-182 song from the Enema of the State album is playing in the background of the internet broadcasting?
Is this multiple choice, or?
I mean, if you need it.
I definitely need it.
I need it.
So, A, Mutt, B, Aliens Exist, or C, Anthem, Part 1.
I feel like I would have recognized at least one of those. I don't know.
It's the scene where Jim is running
Yeah.
to Kevin's house, I believe
Well,
it is.
it's like the whole scene, actually. It like keeps cutting in and out.
Yeah. Yeah, it does fade kind of while the dialogue's happening and it comes back.
Enema of the State.
I'll say Anthem Part 1. I honestly don't know, but that's my guess.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is Anthem Part 2 on Take Off Your Shirts and Jacket?
It is. It opens up. Take off your pants and jacket.
Okay. I know Anthem Part 2 really well, so God, I'm gonna embarrass myself after knowing Scott, the first drummer.
First name.
One
One of the most common first names ever.
Shout out to all our
do-
Scots out there who listen to the podcast.
It's my
Yes.
my dad's middle name.
It's also your middle
And
name.
mine.
Shit.
I'm sure my dad's a big listener of the podcast.
I'm gonna go with Alien Song because, to be perfectly honest, to show how much I know about Blink, I thought the anthem was a good Charlotte song. Is it not?
So,
there is also a good Charlotte
The
song called
Anthem is a good Charlotte song.
Oh,
Also,
well, shit.
also,
Shows
it's
what I know.
Aliens Exist, not the Alien song.
Whatever.
Zach is so offended right now.
Whatever.
You come and you betray my band on the day of my podcast quiz.
Get over it.
It's not Aliens Exist. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't think it's Mutt, but I'm gonna offend you, Zach. But I don't really listen to Enema, like ever. If I listen to Blink, because it doesn't have that many bangers.
The whole album is a banger.
No, I mean you have
I love how Zach.
one-
I
the-
love how Zach says
the
this.
one song,
but
the
on-
Windmill song.
On multiple occasions, Zach has said these exact words to me. Hey, do you want to join my Blink 182 cover band? It's okay that you don't know how to make music. Neither did they. And now he's gonna sit here and proclaim to be the world's biggest Blink fan after constantly shading them several times.
I'm going to stand by both. Other than Travis Barker, they're not great musicians. I mean, I'm sure they are now. But when this movie came out, like when Enema came out, they were good enough to press record and get somebody to make it sound okay.
Oh, so they weren't to
I'm gonna
music what we are to podcasting? Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ultimately fantastic, but very low quality.
I'm gonna say Mutt. I think.
He wants to bone, this I know, she's ready to blow. They go out every night, his pants are super tight, oh yeah. It is Mutt.
Yes. Woo.
Dylan on the board. Guys, I'm gonna send you a Spotify link. I need you guys to all listen to it before
I knew they were in the fucking movie, so
Thanks, Tom DeLonge, Matt Hopper, and Travis.
Matt
Morgan.
Hopper. Oh my god, close.
What's his name?
Mark Hoppus?
Mark Hopper,
Mark Hoppus. Fuck.
Whatever.
Shit.
All right.
Tom Hopper.
I know his other band.
Isn't Tom Hopper? Isn't he the sheriff in Stranger Things?
I don't know.
Jim Hopper.
Oh,
I
that's
said
Jim.
Matt Hopper. Jim, Tim, Matt, Mark. Who fucking cares? Question number 2.
All right, guys. Question number 2. It's time for a hardball. All right. Question number 2. Dylan's in the lead with 1 point. The IP address that Jim emails is http://128.220.27.192/temp/Nadia Vision, which actually belongs to what real life entity? A, the American Pie website, B, Eugene Levy's personal blog, or C, the Johns Hopkins Department of Psychology?
No fucking way.
It can't be the last one. Oh.
Nadia Vision.
Last week on the episode, Cameron flexed his ability to surf through my memes. So I came back and clouded more memes.
It can't be John Hopkins, right?
Does it
I mean,
help
that's
if I
so-
told
but
you
that's-
that the scene was used in the trailer?
No.
I mean,
Maybe?
that could point
Yes.
it to being the website for the movie, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's the John Hopkins website. It's so stupid, but like, God, that's such a random answer to throw in there. So I'm gonna say that and be wrong, probably.
Oh man. Do you have an idea, Ben, or no?
I'm trying to think if it is Johns Hopkins, what maybe like Nadia is code for. So I'm trying to work that out in my head right now. So
Yeah.
that's a thing.
I mean, John Hopkins would be like a meme and a half, but I'm like, what are they talking about with Nadia? I I guess I'll go for the safe answer, and I will say American Pie. Well, I don't know. Eugene Levy's been in like almost all the movies, though. I feel like. So maybe Eugene Levy would be a safe answer because he's been in like the late ones, like the Book of Beta or whatever the fucking shit they are called. American Pie Book Club or whatever it is. I'll just go with American Pie website. I think that's the safe answer. And if it's in the trailer, I think it's a bit of a tease, and like people will look it up.
I'm gonna go with Eugene Levy's blog just because I'm gonna play the game, and I so hope that's the answer.
That is not the answer,
Yeah, shit.
and neither is the American Pie website.
Yeah,
It is the
What?
Johns Hopkins Department of
Yes.
Psychology.
Yes. Yes.
Is there a reason?
Nope, just a fucking meme, bud. Just a meme and a half.
Does the
as
link
you said.
actually work, or is it just the
Not
IP
anymore.
address that goes
It
somewhere?
doesn't work anymore. It's the IP address that is in the Johns Hopkins Department of Psychology
yeah.
like domain. They
kinda
own
what I
those
figured.
sets of IPs.
Why?
I did have a trivia question that I'm not going to ask, but it was which, other than the latest American Pie Girls Rules, which released early October 2020, what American Pie star is the only one to appear in all 4 theatrical movies and all 4 straight-to-video releases?
Is
And
it Eugene Levy?
Shit, I
It
would've
is
got-
Eugene Levy.
I would have got that
Yeah.
one right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I
Do you
would've
guys
done that one,
know?
too.
Do you guys know Eugene Levy's first name in the movies?
No.
He's Jim's dad. He's Mr. Livingston. They never ever say his name, but it's in one of the credits. It has him listed first name, last name.
No.
It's Noah. His first name is Noah.
Interesting.
Fun fact. All right. You guys up for another Blink trivia question?
I guess.
Sure.
Who
No.
in the credits?
15-year-old Dylan would love this.
Pay attention to the wording of the question because it matters. Question number 3. Who was credited as the drummer for Blink-182 in the original release of the movie? Who was credited as the drummer? Is it A, Tom DeLonge, B, Travis Barker, or C, Scott Rayner? Who was credited as the drummer?
See, now he's going with the meme here.
What are the names?
Tom DeLonge, Travis Barker, or Scott Rayner?
A. DeLong. Final answer.
We do have a tie. Cameron and Dylan each with a point. Cameron has answered first, as is tradition.
And it would be interesting if they were to put Tom as the drummer. Is this like when they're like doing the band practice, or
This is in the credits of the movie. They have it listed.
Just answer the question, bud.
Singer, drummer, guitar player. Who's listed as the drummer?
I mean, I guess I'll just go with the obvious answer and go Travis Barker.
I believe it was Tom DeLonge. I think Travis Barker was playing guitar bass in the garage band. He wasn't behind the drum kit.
Well, let me say, each band member was playing their respective instrument.
Oh.
Travis Barker was on drums, Mark Hoppus was on bass, and Tom DeLonge was on lead guitar. However, when they made the movie, the producers never bothered to get the names of the band members.
So it was Scott.
And afterwards, they realized, oh shit, we didn't get their names. So in my research, I discovered that the producers did a, quote, web search. Couldn't confirm if it was Google or not. They did a web search. Who are the band members of Blink-182?
They asked Jeeves.
And Scott Rayner left the band 2 months before they started filming when Travis Barker came on. Scott Rayner was listed as the drummer for Blink-182 in American Pie.
Damn.
True fact from Cocktails and Classics, false fact on the Universal Pictures. We bring you the real facts here, ladies and gents. We know our Blink-182 drummers. So,
Oh yeah, we do.
that leaves us a tie here with Cameron and Dylan each with a point. I'm kind of ashamed,
Hey.
guys. I gave you 2 Blink questions
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have done my research post.
and a Johns Hopkins Department of Psychology question,
Sorry, I guess I should have brushed up on my Blink.
or your Johns Hopkins.
Yeah,
Well, I got that
thought
one
this
right.
was.
Oh, yeah,
I
never
thought this
mind.
was going to be an American Pie quiz, not a
Yeah, not a
Blink
fucking Blink
182
182
quiz.
quiz.
How many band members of Blink 182 are in the
Name
film?
every single Blink 182 song.
Closest without going over, as is tradition. What was Sean William Scott's salary for the first American Pie movie?
It's gonna be like paltry. I'm gonna. I mean, I don't care. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna say $30,000.
I was gonna say 10,000.
Oh wait, hold on. Time out. Now I'm thinking 30,000 is probably too high, honestly. Yeah, I'll stick with it because I said it, but now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably way too high.
All right. In the event that you both go over, do I just go with whoever's closest?
Well, I mean that's Dylan, but
Sure, if you don't have.
I mean it is without going over. I mean if
Do
you
you
have
have another
if you
tiebreaker?
have another tiebreaker, you can do that.
I don't have a numerical one. I have plenty of questions, but I
Okay.
don't have a numerical one.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
We'll go closest.
All right. So at the end of the day, for Sean William Scott's last American Pie movie, American Wedding, he was paid $15 million.
Whew.
However, for his first American Pie movie, he was paid $8,000.
Oh,
Wow.
that movie did gross like $200 million or something.
Yeah.
So did I win?
Dylan, you did win. That is a big season 2 win on a Dylan.
Dude, I'm racking them in over
You're
here.
dominating. You're like the Shermanator.
I am the
But-
Shermanator.
but for
I'm
trivia.
I'm a trivia robot sent back in time to dominate trivia on a mediocre podcast.
Hey. Let's watch the
Yeah.
mediocre. That's a little generous.
You and Ben are tied with 3 trivia wins each this season. Cameron's got 2. So everybody's neck and neck.
You know
I need
what?
to step it up.
3 is exponentially greater than 1. So,
Yes.
anything over 2 I'm happy with. Before the movie, those of us who have seen it, we wrote down our ratings based off nostalgia and memory. If you're like me, you don't remember this movie at all. So, Cam, you're going to start because it's season 2, and we want to know what your first thoughts on American Pie were.
So I thought it was a funny movie. I enjoyed it a lot. There were obviously some, as we already talked about, some problematic parts of the movie, scenes that didn't age very well, to put it mildly. But even so, I found myself laughing out loud a lot. Is it a really good movie? Like, is it a really good comedy? I mean, no. It's a dumb teenage movie about sex. But it's still a fun, enjoyable movie, I think, and still can be enjoyed today, even with some of the flaws that it has. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10.
Nostalgia is pretty high on this one, I feel like. Especially, like, being born before this movie and growing up through it and the sequel, I feel like definitely coming to age at that point in time. Like this was like your holy grail, I feel like, in a sense. Going in, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I don't know. I don't really think too highly of this movie. It's been years since I've seen it, but I always kind of like kept that like, oh, American Pie was funny. It was like a sex comedy thing. Watching it again, I definitely agree with Zach. What he said earlier was like, as soon as it started, he had a shit-eating grin on. He was laughing. He was chuckling. He was enjoying himself. And I definitely felt that way too. It dragged a little bit at points. Maybe it's just because I was like, it's a little tropey because everything's copied this by now. And we've seen it in subsequent movies. But I do think it's fun. I do think it's enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, I think it's worth watching because everything that we've seen since spawned from this. Anything from our like childhood and like developing years was spawned from this movie. So I think it's worth a watch. You'll probably laugh your ass off. Yes, the problematic stuff, but I do think it's worth at least a 6.5 out of 10.
Going into this movie, I had it in about the same range as you guys, like a 6.5. This movie I remembered being funny, like it was an enjoyable movie, but after rewatching it, I feel like I've enjoyed it more this time around than I have in any previous viewings. I appreciate the main storyline stuff. Like I said, I love the character of Jim's dad so much more now than I ever did before watching it, and he just adds another layer to this movie. But I just think I've never realized until now how much nostalgia factor this movie has. I think a couple decades from now, when people wonder what the 2000s are like, someone's going to just pull out this movie and say, this is what this time period was. And I actually bumped it from the 6 I had it in before to like a 7.5. I think it's a really funny movie. I know it has its problems, but it's hard to hold something that came out 21 years ago to a standard we have now. I really enjoy it. I think you should check it out. Like Dylan said, it influenced so much of the stuff we've seen now. I think it kind of reset what the teen comedy genre was for the longest time. So if you have the chance to check it out, I highly recommend it.
You guys know I love this movie.
10 out of 10.
This is one of my favorite movies. I can watch this whenever. And like Dylan said, as soon as you turn it on, as soon as you hear the first little bit of the soundtrack, you just light up. You feel so good. It takes you back in time. The clothing that the people are wearing, the like button-up shirts, the seashell necklace, Shermaner's fucking spiked hair. There are problematic bits. But for the most part, the movie, it's been 20 years and it's not that bad. You can still, the parts that are bad, you can cut them out and you still enjoy the movie. It's a great time capsule of the 2000s. It was really hard for me to come up with a rating because it's hard for me to separate just American Pie from the like American Pie, American Pie 2, American Wedding trilogy, which kind of takes you through like this coming of age into we're all grown up, you have to say goodbye to your friends at American Wedding type of thing. But I looked back at my other ratings to really see where this slots in. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. There's a lot of movies that we've reviewed. It's hard for me to find, a handful of movies that I would rather rewatch than American Pie. I've seen it a ton, and I'm going to watch it a lot more.
Wow. I will say this makes me want to watch the sequel.
I will say American Pie 2 is better than American Pie.
Yeah, American Pie 2 is, in my opinion, the best of the movies.
Wow,
Yeah, I
bold
agree.
claim.
Check it out, Cameron. If you haven't seen it.
It's much
think-
like The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, you think so?
It's
Yeah,
It
it
takes
really
what
set
this-
the franchise into its own.
I just think
And,
American Pie 2 takes the things this movie did well and continues doing them, and I don't think it has nearly as any like problematic type. It's been a while since I've watched it, so I don't want to I guarantee there's nothing you can find wrong with it, but it's good.
It gives you a different piece. American Pie, they're high school kids living with their parents. In American Pie 2, they're on their own. At least for the summer, They have jobs.
Yeah.
It is a great movie.
American Pie 1 is more of like a one-off episode, and American Pie 2 really gets you into the lore and the mythos of the American Pie.
It takes you back
universe.
and really it really places you in East Great Falls High. And like how you would have come up there.
If you enjoyed this, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Leave a review on Apple. That really helps us out. Give us some stars. Follow us. Subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod. Use the hashtag Cocktails and Classics to send us your movie and drink recommendations. Share us with your friends and family. And as always, watch responsibly.